and welcome to Star Wars Obsessed. This episode is a special tribute to Greg Hildebrandt. Greg Hildebrandt and his brother Tim Hildebrandt were born in January 23, 1939. Together, they were known as the Brothers Hildebrandt, and they were American twin brothers who worked collaboratively as fantasy and science fiction artists for many years. Born in Detroit, Michigan, Greg and Tim Hildebrandt studied at the Meinzinger Art School and began painting professionally in 1959 as the Brothers Hildebrandt. The brothers both held an ambition to work as animators for Walt Disney, and although they never realized this dream, their work was heavily influenced by illustration style of Disney feature films such as Snow White, Pinocchio, and Fantasia. They were also influenced by the artwork in comic books and science fiction books, notably the work of Norman Rockwell and Maxfield Parrish. The brothers are best known for their popular The Lord of the Rings calendar illustrations, illustrating for Marvel and DC Comics, original oil paintings for a limited edition of Terry Brooks' The Sword of Shannara, and their Magic the Gathering and Harry Potter illustrations for Wizards of the Coast. In 1977, the brothers were approached by 20th Century Fox to produce poster art for the UK release of Star Wars. A promotional poster had already been produced in the US by the artist Tom Young, but Fox executives considered this poster too dark. The brothers Hildebrandt had established a reputation working on the Lord of the Rings calendar and a concept poster for Young Frankenstein, and Fox commissioned them to rework the image. The twins had to work to a very tight deadline and work together in shifts to produce a finished product in 36 hours. Their version of the poster, referred to as Style B, was distributed to be used on British cinema billboards for the UK release, and became possibly their best-known work. Both Young and the Hildebrandts had worked on their posters without reference to photographs of the actual cast, and Fox and Lucasfilm later decided that they wanted to promote the new film with a less stylized and more realistic depiction of the lead characters. Star Wars opened in British theaters on December 27, 1977, and the Hildebrandt's poster continued to be used until late January 1978, when it was replaced by Chantrell's Style C poster. Despite their strong associations with the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, the brothers were not given a role in the production of Ralph Bakshi's animated version of The Lord of the Rings, which was a source of disappointment for them. In 1981, the Hildebrandts had another film poster commission for the film Clash of the Titans. Together, the brothers developed a concept for a fantasy movie, Usharak. Although this never went into production, the Hildebrandts collaborated with author Jerry Nichols to publish Usharak in the form of an illustrated fantasy novel in 1979. The lack of success with Usharak may have contributed to their decision to work independently of each other, and in 1981, the brothers began to pursue separate careers. Individually, Greg contributed to the art for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra's albums and concert merchandise. He also provided the cover art for Black Sabbath's 1981 Mob Rules album. During the 1980s and 1990s, Greg illustrated a number of classic books. In 2019, it was announced that Greg would provide cover art for a new series of Star Trek comics, Star Trek Year 5 from IDW Publishing. This was the first time that Greg had worked on the Star Trek franchise. In April 2022, Greg was reported among the more than 36 comic creators who contributed to Operation USA's benefit anthology book, Comics for Ukraine, Sunflower Seeds, a project spearheaded by editor Scott Dunbier, whose profits would be donated to relief efforts for Ukrainian refugees resulting from the February 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Greg married his first wife, Diana F. Stanowski, in 1963. Diana assisted in his art projects and was a model for Princess Leia on the Star Wars movie poster. Greg Hildebrandt died on October 31, 2024, at the age of 85.